Hey, what's good, everyone? Welcome to More After the Game. I'm here with MicroMike, one of Lions Nation's official content contributors. Now, if you haven't downloaded the app, I want you to visit lionsnationunite.com to go in there and check us out. We want to, let you know that one thing we're going to do, we're going to talk a lot about Lions, as you always know. And I know there's a lot of questions, a lot of comments that people like to make. We want to keep the questions and the comments coming. And one thing you do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. That'd be a great thing for us. Hey, we have a lot planned for this channel. You don't want to miss it. So, MicroMike, welcome, buddy.
Hey, appreciate having me on here to talk some Detroit Lions. Excited? Definitely, folks. You got to subscribe. And guess what? Subscribe some more. You want to get that content out there. Herman Moore, he's killing it right now. Make sure you subscribe.
Yep. No, I appreciate that. So, man, here we go again. Here we go. So I always like to have our guests when they come on, give us their thoughts. Tell me what your takeaway was from this last game. I know there's a lot of people who've talked about everyone from Goff. They've talked about Coach Campbell, talked about some of the play calling and some of the decisions that were made. So I just want to get your take, just kind of right now, when you think about this team and that last game, I just want to get your insights on that.
I really like the direction right now of this regime, of Dan Campbell. They are really fighting hard. I think this is something that we haven't seen in Detroit for some time, a culture change where players buy into the system. They fight hard for their coaches. Even though we have not won a football game, I feel with the personnel that we do have, that they're fighting still, that says a lot about the leadership, top down. And so that excites me. Yes, we've won some games before in the last couple of years, but there's been a culture issue. And if these guys in leadership right now can fix that culture, I mean, would you rather lose now and then win and be a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers down the road or a perennial winner? That's what I like. And I've seen these players fight. That makes me happy.
All right, so you talk about you like the players, you like the culture change. I know there's those that are going to look at this and they're going to say, okay, the culture change is one thing. Having your players come out and have that energy and have that grit and have that fire, that's one thing. But what about the wins and the losses? What about seeing these players go from one week to another? We'll get into it, but the defense seems like it's going on a certain trajectory. All right, and that we see some improvement. We see that they're getting better in some areas. Then you see the offensive side of it, which we knew kind of what we were walking into, but we expected a little bit more out of it after we saw a couple of the first games. They seem to me like they're going in different directions.
Yes.
When I look at the offensive unit, I look at the defensive unit, and I get it. I know there's injuries that have been there on the offensive line, but I don't think you can attribute some of the decline that we've seen in the offense strictly to the fact that the offensive line has had some holes.
Correct. That's 100% correct. Yes, there's been injuries, but Evan Brown is actually rated the best center week 7, and he replaced Frank Ragnow, did a very good job. Penei Sewell on the offensive line, he was fantastic, and we still lost. I think when it comes to the offense, we're having issues, obviously, with some of the wide receivers not stepping up. We traded for Trinity Benson. Like to see him out there make some plays. Like to see Amon-Ra St. Brown make some plays, help out Jared Goff, and consistently run the football. I think we did a better job consistently running the football this last game. But if you look out throughout the season, it was a mixed bag. I feel like if you could have ran a little bit more, maybe we've won a football game. When it comes to defense, I love the trajectory right now that they're going on there. Alex Anzalone doing a fantastic job at linebacker. The defensive line are doing a much better job than the last 3 years with Matt Patricia, and it's just getting better. You're seeing the young guys step up, Levi Onwuzurike, Aleem McNeil. That's what you want to see. You want to see them step up. And you're seeing the defense get better because of it. Derek Barnes. And let's talk about Jerry Jacobs. I mean, these guys are stepping up. And It's a very good job by Aaron Glenn. I love the coaching that he's doing for this team. And I think it's a good sign there defensively. But offensively, yeah, we need some help there for sure.
Yeah, I think we need some help. I mean, we've seen some bright spots on the offensive side. I'm gonna stick on the defensive side just for a moment. So you mentioned a few of those players, and what I like is that whenever you can take the players and you move them from really you don't know who they are. You don't really know their names. You don't know what the expectations are. To now you can see where it's going. It gives you a roadmap. The other part is I had a lot of concerns about the secondary, which I still do when there's man coverage. I think there's still some holes there when you look at the communication and coverage, when you look at the communication and assignment, and understanding really the down and distance is something that needs to be worked on. However, the defense is playing well enough to where if you bring along an offense that can score points, that can come away with something in the red zone, that it keeps you in the football game. And if the offense starts to be able to stick with the running game and trust that running game, it's not going to always pop, but sometimes you can start to see them wearing down a defense. So that's when I talk about the contrast in the two sides that I see. But the secondary, I thought, has been much improved. I think the linebackers have started to play a lot better. I think that we don't see as many busted coverages when they're going against tight ends or getting lost in space. The defensive line, you talk about the pressure. Matthew Stafford got a lot of pressure on him, and that was a great thing to be able to see. So that was for this unit. I think we're seeing a team that on one side is accelerating, but now I would have never thought I'd say, you know what, this offense is kind of a weak link right now for this defensive unit. So, I mean, is that how you see it? I mean, right now, that's kind of my take. That's what I'm seeing right now.
That's 100% how I see it. I feel like the defense has been doing a very good job. It's hard for me to nitpick on undrafted rookies like a Jerry Jacobs. He's put in his position. He's doing the best he can do. And, you know, they don't have all the talent in the world, but they're stepping up. I mean, they literally held the Rams to 28 points. No one, even Vegas, thought that would be the case. They thought that they'd put up 40 points on them. In the last couple of weeks, the defense is doing a very good job. Offensively, we get to the red zone and we turn the football over, or it's a punt that we're seeing, a lot of punts. You know, we're used to seeing great offenses in Detroit for many years, all the way to your time playing Barry Sanders. I mean, all Matthew Stafford, Calvin Johnson. So it is a bit of a shocker. It definitely is a shocker, but I think it's a lack of talent. We really need to get some wide receivers. I think we need to get a number one wide receiver. You know, I think that would help out a lot, because right now Khalif Raymond, to me, is a number 3. Very good. I love Khalif Raymond. I think we need to resign him, but you're putting him against the number ones. So it's a little bit difficult when you have that type of players going against other type of players. So you just need to get a little more talent here on the offense.
You know, I agree. And I think shifting over to that, you talk about the skill position, you talk about the ability to make plays offensively. And when I think about this team, I look at the receiver position. I think we're getting kind of what we thought we'd get. I mean, do we want to see St. Brown start to accelerate and be a little bit more involved? You don't want to have a player that I think has the ability to be a difference maker in that slot position, not disappear in certain games. Even early, I understand that schemes are going to change. You know, Raymond comes out, he makes some plays, he's getting down the field, he's beating some coverages, and he's going against, like you said, at best, I think he's a 3, but he's beating some guys, he's winning some battles. TJ Hawkinson, he's still getting open, even though everyone knows he's kind of that primary guy. He is definitely Jared Goff's go-to person when he wants to get out of trouble. We saw him make some errant passes into coverages again that he's just not open. But the running game, I know we have a lot of folks that have joined us. Thank you for joining us on More After the Game. That we talk about the running backs. We're talking about 2 running backs that I'm looking at the stats. We're looking at Jamal Williams, 12 carries, 57 yards, 4.8 yards a carry. We have DeAndre Swift, 13 carries, 48 yards, 3.7 yards a carry. But yet these running backs are not carrying the ball over 20 times a game. How is that not possible? I know that's in our comment section. How is it not possible that these guys, not at least one of them, isn't touching that ball 20 times?
Yeah, it's unacceptable. We need to run the football. And right now, when your offense is struggling, what helps out a quarterback? Running the football. Jamal Williams is a very good running back. He's patient, too. He's going in between the holes, and he's getting those crucial yards. I mean, he's rocking 4 yards a carry sometimes, and that's really good. You got DeAndre Swift. This guy, to me, needs to be the focal point of the offense. I've been calling it for years. He is fast. He's shifty, just like his name is Swifty. Get him the football. He's going to make a play. Screen play. Last week, 62 yards. You got to feed these guys the ball. when you have playmakers, give it to him. It's so important that Anthony Lynn stays to the running game. It may not work quarter one. It may have issues quarter two, but when the fourth quarter comes around, you can run that football. Then you don't have to throw a pick in the red zone in the fourth quarter. Run the football, get the touchdown that way. I think with the defense is doing as good as it is, if we can run the football consistently from beginning to end, we probably can win some of these games. I really believe that. And, it is a little bit mind-boggling that we're not consistent running the football. Hopefully it gets better, but I'm with you on that.
Yeah, we did. They did a great job against Henderson. 15 carries, 45 yards, 3 yards to carry. Longest was 10. So it really shut down the Lions defense, shut down the running attack. So they knew that all of a sudden they had forced the Rams into becoming somewhat one-dimensional and having to pass the football. We knew Matthew Stafford was going to come out and throw the football, and he struggled. I mean, they struggled to really get become that team that was going to just run away with it. And I think the longer this team stayed into the game, the Lions gave themselves a chance to at least try and win what was seemingly a most difficult challenge of the season so far on the road in a place where not many people had given them an opportunity to even be competitive. Let's talk a couple topics. Let's talk about Jared Goff and just role and expectations. When you think of a quarterback, when I think of a quarterback, I always think of leadership. I think of based on the fact of the person that he was replacing. A lot of people are thinking, okay, you're trading apples for apples. That's not always the case because there's personalities, there's characteristics, they have to adapt to the team that they're coming into, the coaching style and staff and the new players and all that. So I get all that. But when you look at Jared Goff, roles and expectations, what are your takes there?
My expectations right now is to get us through the season. I think it's really difficult with the weapons that he has. I think he's making some errant throws, overthrowing sometimes. I don't know if he's doing all his reads. I feel like he's not going deep. My expectation for him is he's going to be the starter the rest of the year. We're going to have him next year. Hopefully next year, I'm thinking maybe draft a quarterback and him be the expectation for him is to mentor the young guy, kind of like we're seeing in San Francisco right now, Trey Lance. Jimmy Garoppolo is still playing, but be that mentor role. That's my long-term expectation. I don't think he's the future quarterback of this team. I think we're going to have to draft one, in all honesty.
Right. I believe they're a little late. I've mentioned this several times on the show that the Lions had an opportunity to draft quarterbacks in the past. I think they've waited until it's gotten to this place and this point where you really don't have that long-term talent that you can develop along the way, that you don't have to throw into the fire right off the bat. When I look at the role and responsibility, as I mentioned about the quarterback, that is a huge piece. That is one, whether you ask for it or not, there's an expectation that comes with it that is mandated in order to carry that load. It's not just finding open receivers. It's about when you're playing, you're making the players around you better, period. And when there's trouble, out there, you're the one that settles the offense down. You're the one who takes control. You're the one who talks to the coaches and say, hey, here's the direction in which we need to take this offense right now. And here's what I'm seeing that's going to help us really temper everything that's taking place. And we got to be able to find whether it's, the running game and get that in sync, or whether it's getting passing game by hitting some of the short passes, whether it's getting defenses to really respect the fact that you have authority when you're out there on the field. That's what I see kind of missing. And when you look at Jared Goff, it's not that, I know some have said, we don't see the fire. We don't see that grit and all this other stuff that goes with it. I think he can be a calm, temper-minded, mannered, really quarterback. But do you think that he needs to be more in motion? Do you think he needs to be more where it gives the appearance, whether it's there or not, that he is the commander when he's out there and he's leading this offense?
It's interesting because a lot of people say you have to show emotion, you have to be like that. Matthew Stafford was never a type of quarterback that'd be all fury. Every once in a while when we're doing the Dallas Cowboys game and he jumps over to get the touchdown, but he was a very calm, cool, and collective. Justin Herbert, same type of quarterback. He's not the fury guy, but he's lighting it up right now. So I'm never going to get on a player for you have to be this specific way. There's different quarterbacks are built different. Tom Brady's are fiery, but Justin Herbert's are not. So I'm never going to get mad if you're not up in there getting fury, anything like that. I just want him to be accountable. The first one in, the last one out. He's helping players out that need to be helped. That's what I want. When I was in the Army, I led by example. I want you to teach and show that you are the person who can be gone to if you have any sort of question, any sort of help. You don't have to be fury. You don't have to be down people's throats, but you got to be a guy where they say, I can follow this guy through a brick wall. That's what you need to be. So the furiness, not too big on it, but leadership skills, the rest, yes.
All right, Coach Campbell, let's switch over a little bit and talk about Coach Campbell, Dan Campbell. I mean, a lot of people are making their memes. They have their little, talking points here and there. Does risky play calling demonstrate a lack of confidence? When I see the trick plays and I see a lot of them early, I don't want to say I feel like you're grasping for straws. I think that you're basically saying, you know what, everything's fair game as a coach. But does that speak in the normal arena of looking at how this game is played? Does that speak desperation to you?
I think what I saw from this last week is going into this, they knew exactly that their team, the Rams, were better. What can we do to win this game? We're going to do everything we can to win it. And if we have to do an onside kick, if we have to do fake punts, that's the case. But make no mistake about it, from top to bottom, the Rams team is better. They were 5-1. We're 0-6. We got to do what we can to win this game. Does it say, yeah, we don't think we're the better team? Yeah, it does. But common sense dictates that as well. I mean, anybody can look and say that team from top to bottom is better. So we had a chance to win the game. So I'm not going to be complaining about all those trick plays. If that's how you think you can win this game, do it. Because if you don't, you're probably going to get murdered in the game and it's going to be 40-0. So I like it. It's just showing the facts. Everybody knows the Rams was better, but we had a shot. And I tell you what, it showed that he has guts too. That's something that I like to see, is somebody with guts. Do what other people don't do. He did that 2-point conversion a couple weeks ago. I remember the announcer saying, don't do it, don't do it. Oh, yeah, it worked out pretty well. I mean, obviously we didn't win the game, but it showed he got some guts. I like guts.
Yeah, guts are good. And I'll be honest, I always think out of some of these things, a light bulb goes off. And I said, you know what? I was looking at the fake punt. And if you really look at the way it was weighted on one side, they saw, in my opinion, I think they saw something in film. And they said, if we cross this part and we're on this side of the field, we only got one guy to block on the left side. And it was exactly that. They saw a weakness in the defensive part, or that special teams piece that the Rams were doing, and they exploited it. So at first, when I looked at it, I was like, look at all these gimmicks and these gadgets, and who were really going for onside. But then you start looking at it and you go, you know what? Maybe we're not giving them enough credit sometimes, because it's not normal. And they promised us everything but straightforward, normal. We're going to do, other than they were going to do things their way. And I see that they're saying, listen, you just don't know who and what we're going to be. You better come prepared if you're a team, because you don't know what we're going to do. And I started to kind of buy into that. The one thing I did have to disagree with in the third quarter, clock's ticking. You have an opportunity. The defense has had a stronghold. You've gotten the ball back. The offense has really seemed like it's gaining a lot of confidence, moving down the field, and you have an opportunity to kick a field goal and take the lead. When that didn't occur, that one really shocked me. I have to admit, I did not agree with the call. I did not agree with it at that point. That's just my opinion. Your thought on that one?
I 100% agree. That was the one I would say, to just take the points, take the lead, because we would have had a 1-point lead at that point. Just take it. But they did not take it. That was the one I disagreed with. The rest I liked. I thought, man, because we all know Matthew Stafford. If there's a turnover on downs, we've seen it a million times. Stafford will turn and get a touchdown. And I felt like if we don't get this is exactly what's going to happen. We didn't get it. Stafford turned around, drove a touchdown, and it was like, ire, take the points. We lost the momentum because we were having some strength there. I disagreed with that one as well. But hey, I guess it's an armchair quarterback when you're looking back on it.
Yeah, I'll say this again. I think if Coach Campbell and this team and the coaching staff has one thing that's behind him, is that whether you agree with some of the play calling, whether you agree with the fact that this is a O and no wins team, they haven't really lost the fans. They haven't really lost as many people as you would think a team that has not won a football game. They've really a bonding on the outside, the base of the fans, that this is a team that is really, they're willing to support Dan Campbell. They're willing to support some of the things that he's doing, whether they agree with him all or not. I think it's just the passion and the fact that he's putting together just a culture. And you mentioned this in the beginning. Cultures are, a lot of people don't understand how big it is to have your team together, to have your coaches have the respect of the players and the players' respect for the coaches this early on, and to be so many players who are coming together for the first time and to be so young. That's one of the things that has kind of stuck out to me. A few more minutes here. Talk Aaron Glenn. Give me your take on him. I'm really excited about what he's doing with the defense. We talked about how the defense is elevating and the fact that this was a unit that was most concerning early on to a lot of us, because we said, how in the heck is this defense going to stop anyone? Where's the pass rush going to come from? Linebacking unit looked awful in preseason. They were getting just exposed by the running game out of the backfield in the passing game. They were getting exposed by tight ends. The receivers were finding their way down the field. There was just broken coverage and all these other things. So right now, I see that as being really one of the most bright spots that has taken place so far early on in the season.
I love what Aaron Glenn's doing. My fear is someone don't take him, poach him as a head coach at some point. I think with what he's doing with the personnel that we have is magic. If you look at what this roster was coming into this year, what Matt Patricia he did to this defense, did to this roster was a tragedy. Aaron Glenn comes in here real quick with undrafted rookies, with Okudah out, Melifonwu out, with Jamie Collins gone. You got guys that are just coming out of college that didn't get drafted, and they're starting and they're playing effectively. The growth of Jerry Jacobs is magnificent to watch. It is very difficult to learn the cornerback position. This guy comes in and he's looking solid. Each game he's getting better. Amani Oruwariye, this guy to me is not a number one, but he's slated that right now. He's doing a good job getting the turnovers. Massive shout out to Aaron Glenn for getting these linebackers to play the way they are playing, because to me, coming into this season, the linebacker was the worst core on this whole team. You bring in Alex Anzalone, he struggled a little bit in the beginning. Derek Barnes, rookie. Jalen Reeves-Maybin. Now they're coming together and they look kind of deadly a little bit. They look a little bit deadly. Tracy Walker. Tracy Walker, he's
I was just ready
folks.
to say that. You know, I was looking at the aggressive play of the secondary coming up to make plays, looking at the safeties coming down and delivering the hits, looking at them just getting aggressive and not, I mean, the energy that is being built around that. You wish you could see that on the offensive side, but almost it's not deer in the headlight on the other side, but it's like, wow, they look like they're trying to figure out some things. They're trying to figure out how to bring this all together, how to just find a way to be consistent in some areas. But the only place I see the strength on the offense is in the running game. I mean, the running backs look so confident. They look like, I want the ball all the time. You get some play here and there, but the minute they throw the football, you know, you're kind of going, let's see who's going to get open. Let's see if there's a play to be made. But you just never know when you see the ball in one of those running backs' hands, in Williams, or you see it in Swift's hand. You go, one, energy, effort, hard running, and then two, they're going to try and get those extra yards.
Yeah, I mean, I think that needs to be the main part of this whole team. You know, we've always had the passing game throughout the years. Always said that if you want to win in the NFC North, you need to be a physical football team, a black and blue division type of football team. You've got to run the football. We've had the greats of the Calvin Johnsons in the world lighten it up. But how do you win games? You got to run the football, and you got to pound it. That's what we need to do. I think we got a very good 1-2 combination, but we got to stick with it. And once we get a few more weapons and a quarterback, in my opinion, I think this team really, with this draft coming up, we got a ton of draft picks and free agency. I think they can turn it around a lot quicker than I think people realize. And you get another safety like Tracy Walker, kind of Quandre Diggs type of guy who I love. I love those just punch you in the mouth type of guys. This team, hey, with Aaron Rodgers leaving here soon and Devonta Adams, who knows?
Hey, one or two players. I think playmakers. It changes the dynamics, and then Jared Goff obviously he's got to make plays, and he's got to be their long-term solution, even if it's just in the near future for the next few years until they find someone. Last question. So I was concerned about Aaron Donald and Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell, hey, he handled his business. I thought I was really happy for this young man because people are watching him. They're watching, you got Decker who's injured. You got the questions constantly asked where he should play, where's going to be his strength along that offensive line. May have lost you there just for a second.
Just for a second.
Yeah, but with Penei Sewell, I just wanted to get your real quick thoughts on him. Then we'll start to wrap things up. But I know, man, that was I was really happy to see him play well. I've been happy to see that he's made the transition, it seems, in this period of time. And that is a tough position to come in on any type of a line, and one that has so much focus coming into this season, being ranked so high. Everyone was going to watch that as being one of the strengths of this team, and the young man has not let us down.
No, man, I'm an Oregon Duck fan. I love Penei Sewell. This guy, people talk about we want to get dogs on a team. Now, I want a werewolf. This guy is a werewolf. He will come for the jugular. You know what the favorite part of this game was on Sunday was not watching the plays. It was him and Aaron Donald, and he didn't back down. That's what you need. You need that identity. You need that guy. I'm not afraid of you. We had that with Ndamukong Suh. Now we get it with a little Penei Sewell. That's how you change a culture. That is how you build a football team. Sewell, oh man, and there's more to come with this guy. He's just gonna. I can't wait. And that's what you want to see. You want to see your best, your big guy, Penei Sewell, go against Aaron Donald, the best defensive lineman, and you don't want to see him back down. And he didn't. I love it. I'm so excited for him and the future of this team. I can't wait to just continue to watch this guy rip fools up. That's what it's all about.
All right. So when are you going to put on your uniform? Go ahead and get out there. I mean, whether you're not 300 pounds, but that's okay because the energy that you're bringing right there is what they need on offense. They need someone that's going to sit there. I know it's not about jawing. I'm looking for the ones. I'm waiting for the day when the receivers stand back up and we're beating our chest. Because right now, that's the part I'm missing. I'm a big play receiver. We've had big play receivers. You talked about Calvin Johnson. You talked about Kenny Galladay even when he's here. Marvin Jones Jr. I mean, that big play. And they don't have to be big. We saw that in Golden Tate. I mean, you just want someone that's just going to go out and just light it up and fire it up in the passing game. Hockenson, I mean, he tries his best he can. Hey, it's a tight end. I don't want to beat down on my tight ends, but they're too easy to double. They're too easy to take out of the game. The receivers are the ones got to win some big matchups. Mike, you know what, man? It's been a pleasure. It's been great speaking with you. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Hey, I'm on Detroit Lions Talk with MicroMike. That's my YouTube channel. On Twitter at MicroMike85. And the best place to find me, Lions Nation United app. Make sure you download that fantastic app. We all can talk, have a good time, do photos. Make sure to download it and follow me on there, MicroMike.
No, I appreciate that. And I appreciate everyone chiming in. Hey, tell your friends, tell your families, tell your coworkers about us. Join us every week. We'll be talking Lions football. We're going to continue to bring you great content. And as MicroMike mentioned, go check us out, lionsnationunite.com, and definitely go download the app. And don't forget to like our channel. So appreciate you. Appreciate everyone who came in and joined our station, joined our comments. And you know what? Let's do it again. I look forward to speaking with you.
Absolutely, man. Let's get it done.
Absolute pleasure. Night, everyone.